here, but today we're doing a live training on why your meditation practice isn't working, and I'm going to give you 3 powerful tools to make it more effective and powerful and actually routine. And this training is for sure for you if you don't have a meditation practice and you want one, you want to learn more about it, you're curious about what the heck meditation is and why it's beneficial. Or if you do have a meditation practice and maybe you want it either to be more regular, more routine, or if you want it to be more effective, more powerful, different, you want to learn more. So I'll go ahead and get started here. If you're catching the live version, say hi when you chime in. Put your favorite emoji below. I'm really excited to be here and share this with you guys. This is something that I am really passionate about, obviously. All right. I got my whole setup here, including water and a smoothie, just in case, you never know. All right, so let's get started. If you're catching it after, let's all just take a moment and close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths to center ourselves here. So whether you're watching it standing or seated, just sit or stand up tall. Let your shoulders drop away from the ears. And just begin to notice the breath moving inside your body. What does that mean? Notice what happens just when you take a normal breath in, when you inhale, and when you exhale. Feeling again the breath moving inside your body. When we focus on something like our breath, it helps to bring us more focused or more aware and less focused on the mind chatter, our ego, what's happening after we leave here. If we're judging ourselves, what our thoughts are. We always have thoughts going in and coming out, and the more clear we can be, the more focused in general we are. So take about 3 more breaths, letting your breath kind of even out here, as if you're ironing out the wrinkles of your breath. Beginning to feel each inhale get longer, get slower, and each exhale is really slow and steady. Let's just take 2 more breaths here together. So we are all set and ready to go. If we haven't met or connected, my name is Caitlin. I am a certified yoga therapist, registered yoga teacher, and really just passionate about all things mindfulness, meditation, yoga, moving our body, learning how to take care of ourselves, really to be our best version of ourselves. And what that is for some of us is going to be different than others, but we always want to try and continue to learn and grow and evolve, like I said, into the best versions of ourselves. So that's what I do. That's what I offer people. I work privately with people, whether it's physically, more on back pain, shoulder tension, injuries, anything like that, or sometimes it's more the mental. Sometimes it's all of it, but I love being able to share the wisdom of, like I said, mindfulness, yoga, meditation with others to make it more accessible and to make it so that you're bringing these practices in as a way to digest life, because life has constant ebbs and flows, as we know. And there's times where we get really stressed and caught up. And when we have these tools like meditation or movement, mindfulness, self-care, we let whatever doesn't matter go. And we start to slowly continue to come back to ourselves. And maybe we learn what that is as we go. That's okay. All right, so today's practice, today's training is going to be why your meditation practice isn't working and 3 ways to make it more powerful. I hear people all the time say that they want to learn to meditate, or they start meditating, but they don't know or they can't keep a consistent practice. And if this is you, give me a oh my gosh yes in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to make this as interactive as we can. If you're catching this later, please still feel free. Let me know. Is this something you're struggling with? So let's talk a little bit, let's back it up a little bit and talk about what is meditation. Meditation is a way to focus on either something or nothing as a way to calm the mind. And many people get really caught up in, when we're doing meditation practices, in thinking that the idea is that we're not going to think at all. Good luck. We are human. We have what we call a monkey mind. That is not going to happen. But what we do want to do is continue to refocus every day. We do this practice, and it's called a practice for a reason, because we literally are retraining or training our brain. We're training our brain and our mind to slow down the thoughts more and more, so that we start to feel these tiny spaces of nothing, or of pause, or of not the constant chatter. Because the constant chatter is what leads us to anxiety, to depression, to worry, to stress, whatever it is. So the more we can let go of what doesn't matter, let go of the mind chatter bit by bit, like layer by layer, the more we start to see glimpses of clarity and peace. That's what we're aiming for, not to just detach from the thoughts, because I don't know many, if any, people that can do that. That's a really challenging thing in this day and age, right? Just go out into traffic and you'll get all of the thoughts and worries. All right, so you can use meditation as in mantra, so repeating a positive statement. Something could be, I am strong, or I am here, I am present, I am connected. You can use it to focus on your breath, so you can just do a breathing meditation where you're noticing the inhales or counting the inhales and exhales. You could just focus on something like your third eye or a point. You could focus on something in front of you, a candle, a plant. It doesn't need to be, and in fact, you can do meditations where you're walking. It doesn't have to be just sitting. And like I said, what we're doing is we're trying to train our brain to calm down, to slow down the thoughts, to find glimpses of peace and stillness and quiet. So with that, what are the benefits of meditation? I think I just named them, but clarity, focus, calm, being able to pause and slow down, to de-stress, to declutter the mind, to connect with yourself, when we pause and slow down, sometimes we gain clarity or kind of an outsider perspective on maybe a situation or an altercation or something that's going on in our life, that when we're so in it, it's really hard to get that clarity, that outsider perspective, like I said. But my meditation practice has really brought me that sense of clarity and a way to get out of the situation or thought process to see it differently. It also, there's lots of studies as well on stress. It improves our memory. It helps us ground down into ourself. There's so many benefits. Chime in if there's a reason or a benefit that you use for meditation that I haven't said. I'd love to hear why you meditate, why you want to meditate, or what it brings you that you didn't know about maybe. Pause. So there's many different styles of meditation, as I said before. You can sit down, you can lie down, you could do it standing in a certain sense, different meditations. You can do a walking meditation. Meditation can be when you wash the dishes or you work in your garden. What is important is that you take time to let go of the thoughts and focus on something. So maybe it's just feeling the dirt if you're gardening, or connecting with your breath as you're doing the dishes, or really feeling rooted in your feet and grounded as you're doing the dishes or as you're walking. Mindful walking meditation. So many different ways. There's also ones called Yoga Nidra, which is a guided relaxation that is a systematic way of guiding the body into relaxation. This is something that I really enjoy working with for people in my group classes and also privately, because it allows us to first relax our physical body, and then slowly we start to relax the mind. And we get into these deeper states of ourselves that we often can never get to. And what we reach is this kind of inner wellness or resource, sometimes we call it, or our inner self or our true self or our highest self. But when we get to that point, whatever we want to call it, is more clear, more focused, more creative, more intuitive. But it takes this kind of delayering to get there. So many different kinds of meditations. I'd love to hear what you guys like to do, if you do a seated practice or if you like to stand or you like to lay down. Comment below. All right, so let's get into it a little bit more. Why is your meditation not working, or your meditation practice not working, or maybe just not existent? So a big one for people that I hear and that I was there, believe me when I say that all of these I've done a lot for many years. I've been practicing meditation for a long time, and I finally found what works for me, and what works for me is different every day sometimes. So oftentimes we don't know what the heck to do. We don't know where to start. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go to find these resources and support to get help. So if this is you, comment below. I would love to hear it. But this is one of the biggest things. Don't know what the heck to do. We have no resources. We don't know where to start. And this is something that I often work with clients on. Hey, Imran. This is what I work with clients on to help, is to first of all figure out what works for them, but also decide what kind of resources we need and what would be most helpful for what we're looking to gain, whether we're looking for clarity and focus and creativity, or maybe we're looking just to de-stress and relax, because that's so hard for some of us to do. So what I do with private clients is, like I said, gaining or giving them these resources so that they no longer feel like, oh my God, I want to start meditating, but where do I start? So where to start is one. Another one is we don't make time for it, right? We say we're going to do it. We're like, yeah, tomorrow I'll start. This is like January 1st when everyone's like, I'm going to work out tomorrow. And then every day after that. But if we don't make time for it every single day, how is it going to happen? That's the biggest one, is that people say either they don't make time for it or they don't have time for it. And really, we can do a meditation. We can do a meditation for 3 minutes and get benefits. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute seated meditation. You can do a meditation as you're falling asleep. It doesn't really matter, but what we need to realize is that we really need to make time for it, make no excuses, and remember why we're doing it. So Imran, tell me something to increase focus. I think meditation just in general. So below, when we finish here, let me write this down. I'm going to give you a few meditations that I have on YouTube. There's a couple that are really easy, short seated meditations, and there's also a couple longer guided relaxation ones. And I have one for clarity and focus on there, so I'll give that below. And really just learning to train your brain is how we can focus. And it's not easy at first. It takes practice. That's why we call it a meditation practice, but it really is monumental in our mental health and happiness and contentment. All right. So how can we make our meditation practice more powerful? That's like more powerful, more effective, and not only that, but more regular. How do we make it actually a meditation practice that we get and that it sticks? So 3 things that I've learned that have really, really helped me in creating and sustaining a meditation practice is, first, to get clear on why you want to meditate. What benefits? I mean, we can say we want to meditate all day, but what is the end goal that we want to get to? Do we want to feel more calm? Do we want to feel more clear? And some of us are like, I want it all. But why? Why do you want to feel more clear? Is it because you have a project coming up and you want to focus more? Is it because you feel yourself drifting off and daydreaming? Is it because you want to focus more on work? Is it because you want to be more present with your family or your kids or your friends or your relationships? What do you want and why? So that's going to be, I'm going to give a little homework at the end. I'll write it in the notes below. Let me just also write that down. What benefits do you want in your meditation practice, and why? Why? Getting to the root of the why, and of the why we're getting on our mat, why we want to meditate is so important. Because if you're like, when you make resolutions in January, there's so many of us that are like, yeah, I want to lose weight, but like, why? What do you want? Do you want to feel so good in your body that you don't have to worry about how you feel? Or do you want to feel comfortable in a bathing suit? Or do you want to just feel good because you're tired of being bloated? Like, why? Why? And I recommend, when you're doing this part of the assignment, maybe start like just writing whatever comes out and whatever comes to your head, because sometimes it takes a little bit to get down to the root of the real why. And it takes a little bit of like, okay, I want to be more clear. Why? Because I want to feel more focused, because I want to feel better at work, because I'm tired of feeling lackadaisical, because slowly, the more you start to write, even if it feels like you're writing gibberish or you have nothing to say, the more you write, the more you'll find that root cause. So number 1, write it out, get clear. And when you get clear, maybe you write it out pretty, maybe you just chicken scratch it. Put this where you're meditating, or next to your bed, or where will trigger you to meditate. Maybe it's your bathroom mirror, maybe it's your bedroom door. Whatever it is, it could be, again, your yoga space next to your bed, your bathroom mirror, your bedroom door, anywhere. What will make you remember to want to meditate? Because we're not just gonna wake up typically and be like, it's easy, I have nothing to do today, I want to go meditate. No, typically not. It takes practice, it takes consistency, and it takes showing up even when you don't want to. Because I don't always want to meditate, but I will tell you, it's the times that I don't want to meditate that I put it off all day probably, and that I wait till the end of the day to meditate, that once I finish, I'm like, oh my God, why did it take me so long? I feel so good, right? Can I get a heck yeah? I hear this and see this all the time. So know that when you're starting to meditate, that it's not easy. It's not easy all the time. But the more you understand why you want to do it over and over and over again, until it becomes a habit, it's going to be hard to show up sometimes. And that's okay. And giving yourself grace through these periods of, maybe you forget a day to meditate, so you make sure you do it the next day. Or maybe you do it longer. Or maybe you just forgive yourself and move on to the next day. Or maybe you just do it at the end of the day. So remembering to give yourself grace through this period of really creating a practice, because when we show up on our cushion or whatever we're doing, we're showing up for ourselves. And that's not easy. And it's not easy to sit with yourself and notice what comes up. That's oftentimes why people don't meditate, is because it can kind of be a little painful. It's a lot comes up. There's hurt, there's pain, there's anger, there's stuff that comes up that isn't always sunshine and butterflies and beauty. And that's life. But the more we dive deeper, we're like, okay, we're angry and we feel that, and then we let it go, and then we move on, or we decide maybe we need to communicate something to someone. But like I said, this meditation practice really is about showing up for yourself, about wanting it so bad that you're ready to do it. All right. Number 2, block out the time. Are you a morning meditator? Are you a midday lunch break meditator, after work, at night before you go to bed? And maybe for a week, you choose different times. You block it out, you choose different times, and you figure out what day works for me that I'm ready to meditate, or what time of day works for me and I want to meditate. For me, it's typically in the morning, because even though when I get out of bed, I don't want to do it, it starts my day in the most centered, calm, clear, focused way. And there's nothing else. I mean, movement does that. A few other things do that for me, but this brings me right to the point, right to here. And there's many times that I forget, or I have a super busy morning that I end up doing it later in the day, and that's okay. But for me, I know my body, and doing it in the morning is the best way for me to see results and feel it throughout the whole day. And for some of you, it might be at night. You might not have time in the morning. Maybe you get up at 3 in the morning and that's not really accessible. So maybe you do a guided relaxation to de-stress at night, or when you get home from work to kind of ramp yourself up just a little bit to make dinner or to do whatever. So blocking out the time, set an alarm, set a daily alarm. And like I said, it doesn't have to be every day is the same, but knowing and blocking it out ahead of time and making time. Biggest excuse I hear is, like I said, I don't have time, and I'll argue that I don't have time really just means that you don't want it enough, or you're not ready enough for it to make time. Because anything that we want, that we really want, we can get. We just have to work for it sometimes. Create a space. This is the third one. Create a space. Doesn't have to be this beautiful sanctuary, a whole other room for meditation. It can be a tiny corner of your room. I literally meditate on my bed oftentimes. But when I meditate on my bed, I have a candle next to me. I have my cards that make me feel lovely. I have the things around me, my cushion, that make me feel supported. And for some people, it'll be on a yoga mat. For some people, it'll be on a pillow. For some people, it'll be on the floor against a wall. Like I said, on your bed. Could be a meditation cushion that's fancy and that makes you feel lovely. It doesn't matter, but creating a space for you that you show up for every time. And this place, I'd recommend always creating this space that really excites you, that you really want to go to, that it makes you feel really nice and lovely. And for me, like I said, that's having a couple candles, that's setting the ambiance for it. But I have some little, for lack of a better word, oracle cards. I have a little Buddha that I have. These things, when I sit down, make me happy and make me feel just more peaceful. So creating a space, whether it is your mat, your cushion, your bed, a pillow, and maybe you just have a little plant near you that you're like, all right, I'll look at my plant. I'll hang out with this plant, or whatever. I was going to say doll. I don't know. Whatever works for you, whatever lights you up, bring it in your space. Do it. Make a space that is inviting and that feels comfortable. All right. I have so much more to say on this, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Even again, if you're watching this replay, I'll jump on in, answer questions that you have. If you have questions now, go ahead and answer them. But like I said, I'm going to list the homework that I'd recommend to get started on this. And I'll also, in the comments below, I'll add a few meditations that I have on YouTube that are really helpful for you to get started. And I'll also, there's a couple other resources, like a free app that I'll post below that I really like, that works for me as well, that has a bunch of different meditations. But just to wrap it up, one is write out your why. Why do you want it? And get excited about it. Get ramped up to feel that way. So that when you get on your mat, not only are you like, oh, I'm going to feel this way, but I'm really excited to feel calm or peaceful or a little bit less stressed. So get excited about your why and why you're meditating. That will get you on the mat and get you wanting to do it over and over and over again. All right, block out the time. Number 2, block out the time. We all have time for it. Even if it's setting your alarm for right before work, right when you get out of bed, you set your alarm for 4 minutes, and just for 4 minutes, you're focusing on your breath or a mantra or listening to a guided meditation, whatever it is, blocking out the time, setting alarms, 50 alarms, I don't care what works for you. And even if you're doing it at night, set an alarm at night so you don't forget. It's so easy. We're like, oh, I'll listen to it. I'm just going to lay my head on my pillow and I'll listen. And then you're like, or you read, or you watch something on your computer. So block out the time is the second one. Create a space that excites you, that lights you up, that you want to go to, that nourishes you, that feels really good. Maybe you have a little book there, and that after you meditate, you read a page, or you read 50, or whatever works. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry, maybe it's a stone, but finding things that light you up and creating a space for it. So for homework, I'm going to recommend finding some meditations that work for you. So whether you want to download something, whether you want to use the ones I have on YouTube, get a few handy, saved, or bookmarked, whatever it is, if you're using your phone, or maybe you print it out if it's written. Getting a few that are maybe one that's really short and sweet, one that's kind of a medium, 10 minutes, and then maybe one that's longer or for sleep, so that you have these 3 or 4 or 5 to choose from, so that when you get on your mat, you're not like, all right, now what? Now I'm just in my thoughts. Number 2, write out your why, and write it out a lot and get clear on it and put it in your space. Love that. Love your why. Acknowledge your why and like show up for it. Show up for you wanting to be less stressed and more calm, more peaceful, more grounded, more connected to you, whatever that is. And then 3, create your space. Go in your house, find a space. Maybe it's outside in your garden. Maybe it's on your bed. So those are the 3 things that I'd really recommend you doing in order to start a powerful, effective, and really present routine of meditating. And if you have any questions on this, I am here. If you're interested in learning more about meditation practices, and also about bringing meditation into your daily routine, and maybe even bringing more than just meditation, maybe movement and self-care and mindfulness in. If you're ready to learn more, if you want the tools to continue living your best life and to be your best self, send me a message. I'm actually just about to unroll a really epic program, the Embodiment Academy, that I'm so excited about. You guys are actually the first one I'm really telling. But this Embodiment Academy is an 8-week program. We'll go over meditation, mindfulness, movement, breath work, self-care, and some self-inquiry, self-study, and conscious journaling in order to really transform. And in this 8-week program, I'm giving you videos on it. I'm giving you handouts. You get live calls and support, and a support of a Facebook group. So this is going to be really epic. Again, I'm just starting to unroll it. So if you have any questions on it, if you want to learn a little bit more, see if it works for you, or if it would be a fit for you, send me a message or comment below. Let me know, maybe tag Embodiment Academy. But I'm really excited to roll this out and to share it with you guys. So either way, if you have any questions, if I can help you any further, I am here for you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope you have an amazing start or continuation of your meditation practice. And I'm rooting for you, and I am in your corner, and go get 'em. Bye guys.